Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing well. We'd say Mr. Bazooka, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Like always, guys, any pairs you're looking at, feel free to let us know in the chat. We'll take a look at it together, see what's happening in the markets today. Again, if you're looking for my trading post, I post my trading setups, throughout the week on my Telegram channel, so feel free to go and check that out. Link to that in the description and also in the chat as well. And if you're looking for a broker, I've got IC Markets there for my affiliate link. Feel free if you want to go and check that out as well. But yeah, I'm going to see what's happening in the markets today. Again, still currently in that Euro USD position from Tuesday. Still looking at that swing to the upside, back to these highs at least. And then looking at potentially price coming back to retest this daily area of support and resistance, which hasn't been tested yet. So still currently in that Euro USD position. I mean, it hasn't really gone anywhere, to be honest, from my entry price. We're kind of still going sideways. Again, we did see some news coming out from Russia, Ukraine, which did impact the markets, as you can see, with a few, well, not a few, just one bearish candle, to be honest, across a lot of the USD and JPY pairs. Obviously, we did see gold push to the upside very, very aggressively. So that's still looking strong, which was expected. We're still expecting gold to head to 1910. So it's not too far away from that. And if things continue, we probably will expect that to happen quite soon. But yeah, we did see some news affecting the markets there. Morning, David. How are you doing? We'll take a look at pound CAD for you. So yeah, pound CAD looking bullish. Again, we've been expecting pound CAD to be bullish. We're looking for another move to the upside for this one, to break through these highs here on the left. So we're expecting those highs to give, and we're looking for a push into this kind of area up here at 1.74500 is the next target for this one. My weekly analysis, I was talking about this potentially being our next higher low, because we've had a really nice push. I was expecting originally price to come straight back down, but we formed this higher low formation and had a quite impulsive push to the upside. So for me, price is kind of just stalling at this resistance here, trying to gather enough energy to go and break through this. We're still putting in these higher lows. We spiked to the downside yesterday, and from that we quickly recovered. So pound CAD, yes, trading at nice resistance. I personally am not really looking to sell that, just because I'm expecting this area to break. Obviously I wouldn't buy into it either. I'll look for price to break and retest it. But looking at what the daily's doing, even the weekly and 4H, they're all looking bullish. We're still putting in these higher lows here in the market. So for me, the market is still bullish, and I do think we're going to break through this area. So the best bet for this one is either to wait to see if we can get a move down first, form another higher low somewhere, maybe come and retest some structure on the left at 1.72300 around here, get some buys back into that, can get your stop loss to break even just in case price does return, or you can wait for price to break through the level, come back and retest it and go to the upside, because the trend is still up. It looks like price is about to break through. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I think it will probably break through. So if you're looking at some intraday sells, yeah, maybe on the 30 minute or 15 minute, but I wouldn't hold on for too long, just because, like I said, I'm expecting price to break. So if anything, the price could move down one more time, that'd be great. Look for buys, buy it back up again, or break of the resistance and targets 1.74. Now I'm looking at 1.74500 up there. Yeah, for pound CAD, we tried to sell off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We tried to sell off, but quickly recovered with a fairly impulsive push to the upside. So the higher lows are still intact here, telling me that the buyers are still in control. Sellers are slowly losing this battle. So yeah, there could be some intraday sells, but that's about it. Not many pips in that one, depending, that's your style. But the bigger move, I feel like, is back to 1.74, 1.745. So break and retest, or for you to pull back one more time, could catch some buys into that level. But yeah, that's how I see pound CAD going. Update on euro pound, sure thing. We'll take a look at euro pound. Okay, so euro pound failed to hold that level this prior resistance down the left, turned support at 0.838. We failed to hold that. Price tried to break free, but it respected that previous high on the left, and price failed to break through, came back, failed on the retest, got back below, retested there, and we've actually rolled back down to the lows here. So Euro pound not looking the best. Again, we still know where we are in the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, still trading at a very, very key level of support, which we do think we can see a pop to the upside from, and look to capitalize that on the lower time frames. So still only looking for buys. I did say on my weekly analysis I am looking to see if price would get to here first, because that would be a really nice place for the buys, because this is where we wicked and price really just skyrocketed to the upside. So we could come back down to this area just before the wick, before maybe price starts to rally again. So that is definitely a possibility. But price right now is just coming into this resistance here, turn support on the daily time frame. So you can see the resistance there with those two candles, those two wicks, and we're coming into it right now, which gave us the bullish engulfing a couple of days ago. So if this level can hold, we can go bullish again. If you do look for buys here, your targets do have to be resistance around here, because price could obviously roll back over again. But there could be some nice buys here, potentially a double bottom forming for the reversal. So yeah, if you're looking for buys, we're at a place right now where that could happen. If we fail to hold, and if we do break through, then that original place what I've been talking about, 0.83200, it will be a really nice place to look for some buying opportunities back into that level. And then if you can get the break, you can potentially look for a swing back to those highs potentially. So yeah, I'm still overly looking for buys for Euro pound, even though we did break for that level. Looking a little bit bearish right now, so again, be a bit patient. We need to see some strong reactions from here to tell us that price is about to reverse. You can see the way it's moving, quite corrective and still in that bearish kind of way. So we can still push up and break through that. So need to see a nice shift of momentum for me to entertain any buys. And if we break through, like I said, 0.83200 is where I'll be looking. But yeah, Euro pound currently at a nice place for buys, just no bullish signal yet for me. Update on pound JPY and USD Cad. Yeah, we'll take a look at that GT. Help me, what's the matter, Karen? What's going on? Pound JPY. Yeah, what's going on, Karen? Yeah, so pound JPY, again, another pair affected by some news that came out between Russia and Ukraine. You can see those wicks to the downside, but I'm still firmly bullish from this pair. I'm not going to change my bias to bearish, at all just yet. Of course, it's important to stay on your toes and react to what the market's giving you. But right now, I'm still bullish. I'm looking at the daily and what price is doing. There's nothing really telling us here that we're about to collapse. Yes, we're trading at a weekly level resistance, 157, 158, but there's no real reaction. We're still putting in higher lows here. We failed to roll over. So yeah, I'm still bullish on this one, and it looks like we came back to tap into this area, or kind of just missed it, to be honest. But it looks like price, actually no, we did come in. It looks like price is still holding support for me, so I'm still bullish on pound JPY. Price action, not the best. It's not the best the way it's moving. That's pretty much consolidation really. It's not clear buys at all, but my bias is still to the upside, and if that's the case, I'm still expecting support to hold. If we were to come back and break for this support, that's when I'll start reconsidering what price could do, because then we potentially formed a lower high, and then we might actually reverse, and that's when I might change my bias to bearish and start looking at some sells. But we're still holding on to support. I wouldn't buy it. The price action is not that good. In fact, there's actually a couple of JPY pairs that look a little bit better than pound JPY, which I'll speak about in a second, which I'm looking to buy once I get a confirmation. But for me, the support is still holding, so I'm still looking for buys to the upside. You can see this obvious area here of resistance is what's failing price right now. We're struggling to break through this. So if we can break through 156 800, 900, then we'll probably see that bigger move to the upside for this one, back to highs at 158 potentially. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. £4 JPY back to highs, as long as the support can give way. It's just not moving that clean. Like I said, it's pretty much just doing this. So best bet maybe is a breakout opportunity on the retest, get involved there, or maybe if price was to come back into that support, look for an entry closer to this area. Therefore you can protect your entry, whereas entering around here, you know, you're straight into resistance, doesn't make too much sense in my opinion. But bullish bias on pound JPY and expecting upside as long as we stay above this support. And Usd Cad, no problem, happy to help, man. Usd Cad, just auto type. No worries. So yeah, Usd Cad still looking for this one to roll over. Again, still bearish on the dollar. Still expecting this one to roll over. We did see some nice downside yesterday, and I said if we could see a nice pop back up, which we are kind of seeing now. I was looking for a slightly bigger push back into this kind of trend line area, but you can see we've missed that by quite a bit. Looks like we've got this kind of minor level support and resistance that's holding. So you can see support there, resistance, resistance. You know, pretty much ignored it over there, but resistance again. So not the strongest level in the world, but a level that price is struggling to break through. Obviously, we still do have this very, very key level of support here with all those wicks on the 4 hour, which I do think prices are going to break soon and come back to test this support here. So that's still what I'm expecting for USD CAD. Yeah, I'm just expecting more downside for this one and targets down there. I'm not sure if we'll hit that this week though, because we still do need to take out this level, which will take, you know, quite a hit. But essentially, if USD CAD can hold this level, which looks like it's doing, which looks like it is doing, you know, potentially another lower high after these ones, another lower high, getting ready to roll over. Again, definitely not the cleanest price action in the world there, but it does look like it's holding, especially for those 4 hour wicks there. So yeah, I'm looking for this one to roll over back into the support. Again, the setup I was speaking about yesterday is either push into the trend line, or if we get a break, we can look for the retest and then the drop there, which would probably be a cleaner move than trying to get involved here. I mean, yeah, it potentially is an opportunity, but just be aware we do have that support, which could again take price right back against you. So yeah, I'm looking for USD CAD to drop into 125,600. It's just a little bit messy, you know, practically consolidation. But I am bearish bias on it. So yeah, I hope that helped. USD JPY, please himself from 1512. Okay, we'll take a look. Morning, Sharif. Welcome to the tree. Welcome to the tree. I meant to say welcome to the stream. Hey, morning, Memi. Welcome to the stream as well. Hope you're all doing good. Again, any pairs you guys are looking at, feel free to let us know. We'll take a look at it. But USD JPY, okay, so yeah, USD JPY 1512 was it? 115.12. Okay, so that's around here-ish, and you are selling. So okay, so yeah, USD JPY struggled to break through its resistance yesterday, which we were speaking on. Excuse me. So yeah, we were struggling to break through this resistance. I said if we can hold on to this, then we can potentially roll over. Again, first area we're looking at is this support here, and then if we can manage to break through that, we'll potentially look for these lows here. But yeah, potentially does look like price is putting a lower high in there, which is significant because that means that the trend could start to be reversing for USD JPY. Certainly if we snap through this support here, we could definitely roll over, and then you could be looking at this price swing low there on the left. So yeah, it's looking bearish for USD JPY. The fact that we didn't get above that level and the fact that we come straight back down to these lows is of significance. Of course, we still need to break through this level. We still need to break through, and if we do, then yeah, we could be looking at 114.4 and maybe further as well. But the fact that we failed to break through there and looks like we're putting the lower high, well, technically we actually have because we were below there. It's looking bearish for USD. So as long as price doesn't come back and reject this, aggressively, then you can be looking at this target here, 114.400. How the daily candle closed. Daily candle goes with a lot of wicks there. Nice sharp close. So yeah, it is looking like USD is trying to roll over. We didn't take out that high there. It's failing to do so. So yeah, if that support breaks, we're looking at that area, because if we do hold this, that is potentially where the uptrend could be saved, and we could start looking at back into this, maybe a break potentially. So yeah, you're looking for this level to break, and then once that breaks, you should be in the money. Obviously, as long as if it's not a false break. Morning. I'm alright. How are you? I am well. Hope everyone is doing good as well. But yeah, we did see a little bit of movement from the news coming out between Russia and Ukraine. So again, I think that's just giving us opportunities to potentially get back in, or potentially look to enter these trades that I've got the bullish bias on, primarily the JPY and the USD pairs. Like I said, there's two JPY pairs that are starting to look interesting for some long opportunities, which are a subscriber. Welcome to this. Welcome to the fam. Thank you so much. Which is Euro JPY and CAD JPY. So I'm looking to get long these pairs. We've seen some nice downside from them. Euro JPY, as you can see there, and CAD as well. On my weekly analysis, I said as long as we can hold this support, I'm looking for CAD to head back to 92. So I'm still going to be looking for opportunities to buy. I'm going to be a little bit careful though, because that potentially could be a lower high, to drive us lower. But if support holds and I can see a nice shift in momentum, I will be looking to enter. So price has come back into this support here, which you can see held once, nice false break, held twice, big move up, coming to the third time. So I want to see price hold this level, give me a nice shift in momentum, and I'll be looking to enter, something like this. Stop loss just below, and target at the 92 area up there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for CAD JPY. Right now we've seen some nice wicks into that level, so that's a good sign, a tick on the box. But I do want to see a shift in momentum, because right now momentum is still with the bears. You can see the impulsive move here, sideways movement, then we did another impulsive move back down, then we had this corrective movement back up again, another impulsive move back down. So we keep seeing the bears pushing price down, whereas the bulls are just kind of correctively moving up. So I want to be seeing the bulls start to give me a nice push up before I look to enter. So I want to see a fairly strong candle, an engulfing candle up there would be great, but I want to see some momentum behind these candles. We got the wicks there, which is showing that price is holding for now at least, and now I want to see some momentum come in, and when I see that, I'll be looking to enter with stops below the level and targets at 92, which is basically this price swing high up there. So actually a little bit higher than 92. So yeah, I'm looking at CAD JPY for longs, but I'm going to be a bit careful, because like I said, it does look like price maybe putting in lower highs here with those wicks, and if that's the case, we could actually expect price to drop like so. So I'm going to be a bit on my toes, just in case I do need to shift my bias for these JPY pairs. But if support holds and I see a shift of momentum, I'll be looking to get long. And Euro JPY, similar thing as well, coming back into a nice level of support, which also lines up with my daily area of resistance and support, which is that prior swing high over there before we got that big move up. Price is now using that as support. So if we can maintain that level, again looking to go long. But similar to CAD JPY, momentum is definitely with the bears. Sideways movement, strong bearish candle. I know that was news, but still seeing momentum from that. And this definitely was like a head and shoulder pattern here, which got us to roll over. So I want to see momentum coming back with the bulls. Nice quick rejections from that support, but I'm waiting for that entry signal. So potentially there could be an entry on the next candle. Have to see how it closes. We've got about 23 minutes left. So if that can push up the next 23 minutes, then yeah. Closes like that, I wouldn't look to enter. I'd wait for the next candle. But yeah, I'm bullish on both of them. But I just, again, have to be wary because potentially low high forming. Price might want to go and fill some of these gaps into this area before maybe going bullish. So that is definitely a possibility. So I do need to be careful of that. Bro, stop loss is my whole account. Lol. Yeah, just trade with less position size if you can. Stop loss is your whole account. Yeah, try and trade with less position size so you can afford to have a bigger stop loss sometimes. Yeah, pound JPY, I have the same kind of verdict as well, but it is a little bit choppier than the other JPY pairs in my opinion. The way it's moving, not the biggest fan of it. I mean, it's come back into a similar area of support, as you can see here. The support, the false break, the retest, upside, we're coming back into that same area, so that's good. But the way we're moving is very, very corrective, and like I said, it's pretty much just consolidation. So that's why I'm not really favouring pound JPY. I'm looking more at CAD and Euro JPY. But the same thing kind of still stands. You know, if they're going to go up 9 times out of 10, GJ is going to go up as well. So for this one, I think the safer bet is to wait for the actual breakout of this level, which price is struggling to break through, and then to go long. Target 1, you know, and then target 2 up there at 158. And same thing if we break to the downside, because if that support gives way, I might start to look to change my bias completely and look to sell GJ from then on. If we break through this, put in a new low, because that means we're putting in these lower highs. So that means that we could be looking to change direction. Certainly if we can break through this support here, I think if we break through that support, I'll probably look to change my bias, and yeah, start to look for a move back down into these lows. And the thing about swing trading, and especially a pair like GJ, there's a lot of pips to catch. You know, even if we do end up breaking through this, we're still looking at about 250 pips to the downside. So again, not really looking to take advantage of all 250, but you know, there's more than enough pips to make any trade worthwhile, really. So yeah, GJ is still bullish on, but it's not moving well. So like I said, wait for break up the consolidation, and then that will tell us its next move. But right now, it's just sideways. I wouldn't really look to touch it, to be honest. If anything, can look for buys back at these lows here, maybe in the lower time frame. There, if you can get a tight stop loss and take advantage of the range. Same with the highs, entry around there, then you get your stop loss above there, take advantage of the range. But in terms of direction for GJ, we need to see which way it wants to break, and then we'll know. As I said before, I'm still bullish on JPY pairs for now, but things can change quite quickly, and as we see with the news coming out between Russia and Ukraine. Anything can happen at any time, really. So that's why it's always important to make sure you're on the ball and you don't expose your account, because it can blow quite easily. But yeah, currently in Euro USD, which is kind of just sideways since I've entered, but still looking all right. It's still holding the support which I wanted it to hold, which is this area here. So it's still holding that area, still looking for the move up, and just taking its time. DXY still holding that resistance as well, pretty much just your USD flipped, to be honest. But we do have this support here, which I want DXY to break through. I feel like once it breaks through that level, it should be smooth sailing to the downside into these lows. So that's what I'm looking for, the DXY. It's just a little bit messy now, but we are still putting in those lower highs. As you can see it better on the hourly, still putting in those lower highs. So it's still bearish, still looks like it's coming to that support. We'll see how it reacts with that support, whether it gives way or whether price holds and starts to rally or something. We'll see what happens at that level. Let me take a look at the news events we have for today. So we do have some US dollar news coming out at 1:30. We'll see how that impacts the market. So yeah, we do have some US dollar news at 1:30, and okay, so yeah, we do have actually quite a few events at 1:30 for the dollar. So could be seeing something happening there. And then we've got some JPY news later at 11:30 as well. But yeah, we do have some US dollar news coming out later, so we'll see how that impacts the market. Again, I'll still be staying in my trade through that. Again, my stop loss is wide enough for if news was to pull against me. Obviously, if it was to go completely the other way, then we'll look to exit and target these lows, but got to remain in that trade for now. Again, it's more of a swing trade. I've been in it for a couple of days now, so still looking for that push. And that's the thing about the 4H time frame. You know, it could do nothing for a couple of days, then all of a sudden you have a day where it really starts to take off. You know, something like this, and it can just do 150 pips in one day. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for. 150 or so would get me to my target. So I'm gonna see how that gets on, but primarily the two main pairs I'm focusing on is Euro JPY and CAD JPY. See if we can get some long opportunities for them. Again, I'm just not the biggest fan of how they're moving anymore. It was looking good, but because of that leg there, it's changed it up a little bit. So I want to see some strong bullish momentum coming back in before I enter. Got about 16 minutes before that closes. So yeah, if that closes like that, I'm not going to look to take that buy just yet. I'll wait for the next candle. But yeah, if things do change and we end up forming lower highs here and we end up spinning to the downside, and again, I'll just look to change my bias. It doesn't really matter too much. I'm not looking to get every single bias correct. Most of the time my bias is correct, but about 75-80% of the time. But if it is wrong, I'll just be looking at price coming straight back into this area, and then looking at price coming to there, and I'll change my bias quite quickly once I see that low high in the low form. And we've got about 290-300 pips to the downside. Again, not looking for the whole move, but it's definitely a move I'm looking to capitalize on if it was to happen. So bullish bias right now, but if it does change, it changes, and yeah, I'll be looking for those sells. But we'll be keeping an eye on any announcements that could affect price, of course. And gold rallied to the upside, very, very strongly. We're bullish on gold, looking for price to push higher. I said this area would be a nice area of interest. The first area, 1847 kind of area. Now I'm favoring 1830. I was hoping price was to get to 1830, but you can see that first area held quite firmly. A couple of wicks into that level and price is looking bullish. So yeah, for me, gold, I still see more upside. Like I said, my weekly analysis, I'm looking for gold to come into 1910 up here, and we're not too far away from that. So yeah, I think we could be smashing into that, I don't know, maybe this week, to be honest, if gold keeps it up. But you can see all the support here that formed, and price just kept wicking into this level, telling us that the support is probably going to push price away. And then after we form the support here, It's pretty much a given that price is going to make that move to the upside. So we'll see what price does here, because obviously there will be a lot of sellers waiting around here, a lot of supply. You can see that massive drop there. We might see something like this from gold, but I think we're slowly going to make our way to 2K probably. It does look like we're taking out some trend lines as well. So yeah, gold could start to really rally. So yeah, if you're in a buy position with gold, if I was you, I'll probably look to secure some profit and maybe see if I can hold on to this one for a little while, because you could have caught a really nice rally that could start to explode. Obviously, do be aware of that 1910 area, because we see some downside from that. But if we smash through that, then yeah, gold back to 2K potentially. Along with silver as well, silver could start to rally as well, breaking above this area. I said if silver can hold on to this, I'm looking at silver back into 24.4, and it looks like that's exactly what's happening with silver. It dipped below slightly, but recovered, still putting in these higher lows. So unless we were to suddenly, do that, I expect price to maintain that into 24.4, 24.5 area. So yeah, silver's still looking good. Gold looking strong. Oil took a little bit of a dive, but this one overall still in that uptrend. Could see another swing to the upside soon, coming back into this support there. We'll see how it reacts with it, but you can see that lower high form there and the lower low. So we might spill over again one more time before we look to rally on. But looking at the higher time frame, still very, very bullish. If we do break through that, then we're looking at price coming back into this area, 85. That price swing high there, turn support. Look for the retest, but everything is still pointing to the upside for oil. We're looking at that's going to continue. What's Bitcoin doing these days? Okay, so Bitcoin's holding that resistance. Interesting. My weekly analysis is pretty much playing out how I said. I was originally looking for an upside move for Bitcoin. I said if we can hold on to this area, which we didn't quite come in test, to be honest. I said we can hold to this area. I do think Bitcoin will push up higher, back into this area, and then from here I'm looking for Bitcoin to roll over. And it looks like that's what's happening for Bitcoin. So the main level I'm focusing on now is this support here. If we can break through that, I think Bitcoin we'll be coming back to these areas and maybe some lows down here. So yeah, if 41k can break for Bitcoin, we could be starting to see that downside movement happen again. We have to break through this level for Bitcoin to recover, and it doesn't look like we will. So unless we see an explosive push, yeah, Bitcoin back down into 41. We'll see what it does from there on. Not looking too good. How's Cad JPY doing? Yeah, Cad JPY is not looking too good. Got about 10 minutes or so, but I doubt we'll see a strong close from that in the next 10 minutes. Never say never, but I doubt it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Not try and force the trade, especially in a time like this where if the invasion does actually happen, then obviously we do expect these JPY pairs to melt to the downside, obviously. So I don't want to try and force the buy and then get into a bad trade, and then the fundamentals happen and it just fits the narrative and then we collapse. So I want to stay on my toes. Even though my bias is to the upside, I'm not gonna try and force it too much. But if I do see a good close, because it's holding support, I could probably catch maybe a move to the upside like this, can get to break even, and then just see what happens. We might spill back over, or we could rally. So get to a position like that, break even, take some profit off the table. There's no risk involved. Just see what happens. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we get the candle close, because then that will determine if I enter or not. Same with Euro JPY. Again, really nice wick, but I want to see momentum. I'm not really seeing that too much right now. Euro's looking alright. How's pound USD looking? Pound's rallying to the upside. So again, another USD pair, which I said my bias is the upside for pound. After we got that nice false break to the downside there, really nice wick. I'm favouring price to move because we've taken out the lows here of the consolidation. And you know, when price is consolidating and you see a big wick either side, you know, 9 times out of 10 we're going to roll over the other way. And that's what price is doing right now. So it's up to pound USD whether it wants to break through this resistance or hold and roll over again. Like I said, if we can get the break, I'm still looking at pound USD coming to 1.37 area, which is that high up there. So if we can get the break, the retest will be a really nice option, and I'm looking at more continuation to the upside. Of course, no long opportunities right now coming to the resistance, but a break and retest will start to raise some eyebrows. So still bullish on pounds. Did manage to get an entry with this one, sadly. Did see some pullback here, but it just wasn't enough for me. I wanted the price to kind of break some structure, come back down, and then push on. This was the news, I think, at 3 maybe. Yeah, I think that was. And then we've rallied on from that. So still looking bullish there for pound. We'll see what it does with that resistance, but if we can break 1.37, and then yeah, we'll see where we can go from there. I'm looking at the daily time frame and everything is still looking bullish. Aud Usd is looking bullish as well. So yeah, pretty much the analysis has played out from the start of the week. We were looking for price to hold this support. It's a shame because I was trading Euro USD, which is kind of like the USD pair which hasn't kind of moved. If I got my trade on pound USD, I'd be in a really nice profit by now, or Aud USD, been a nice profit. And the USD would have been a really nice profit, to be fair, because we're trading back at this support. Around about here would have been a really nice profit, but I chose Euro, and Euro is kind of doing me a little bit dirty. So hopefully Euro can catch up with other USD pairs. It's pretty much the same analysis, just Euro is just not as strong as pound or Aud USD or NZD. All those pairs are moving a lot better. So yeah, maybe need to investigate that a little bit more as to my pair of choice to trade the US dollar with, because all my other analysis on NZD USD, pound USD, Aud USD is all played out. Usd Cad not so much. Usd Cad still kind of ranging, but I'm still looking for that to break through. So you know, I can understand Usd Cad taking a bit more time, but I'm expecting it to drop anyway. USD CHF looking a lot better now. It's breaking out that consolidation finally. I was looking selling it over here. Obviously that trade did fail, but it came back in sideways. It was really messy. I wasn't really looking to re-enter, to be honest. But now that we've broken out that consolidation, it's looking good for price to roll over, because at the end of the day, all we've done is come back and held that resistance. So if UCHF can maintain that, again, first target here, second target there, and just looking for the range to complete. Yeah, I'll take a look at gold for you, but yeah, if UCHF can maintain that, looking at that area, and that area plays into the idea of weakness in the dollar, so you know, expecting this to continue. But yeah, gold. So yeah, gold's bullish, very, very bullish. We're expecting 1910 at the start of the week, and it looks like price is almost there, to be honest. So a little bit more upside. We've cleared this resistance here on the left, so maybe price might be kind enough to come back and retest it. But yeah, I'm not looking at selling this thing at all. We might see some downside because price might want to retrace, might be some profit taking or something. But the bigger move for me, certainly after breaking through this 1868 area, which is this level on the left, after breaking through that, is pretty much yeah, it's very, very bullish, to say the least. Price is looking like 1910. Unless we were to climb back below, then that will be unexpected. But if we do that, then maybe some downside could look a lot better. but stay above that high, that swing high on the left. Yeah, that gap to 90.10 does look like it's about to be filled. So yeah, bullish on gold. If price is kind enough to come back down again, I'm just going to say that's another excuse to buy it back up. And yeah, look for 90.10. So a retest of this area would be great. We might not come there, maybe get a retest of that area there and then go bullish. But yeah, it's still very bullish. I wouldn't entertain any sells really. Very risky, to be honest, with the way it's moving. So yeah, I'd wait for it to retrace and then get involved in some buys. And targets, like I said, 19.10 all the way up there. And we'll see if price can do that potentially by the end of the week. Pound Seed Chef, GJ, sure thing. I'll take a look at some of those pairs. But yeah, gold, next target 19.10 basically. So I hope that's helpful. Pound Seed Chef, yeah, another one of those funny pairs that is struggling. It's consolidating right now, primarily because we're holding that level of resistance on the left. A bit of a false break there, and our price is holding again at that area. So Pound Seed Chef, a pair that is on the lower time frames, 4H hourly, kind of trading to the upside. You go in the 4H, you can see support is still being respected, and price is still, kind of putting these high lows in the market. So it still looks like the buyers are still winning this. So I wouldn't really entertain too many sells, even though yes, we're holding that daily resistance there. I'll probably wait for. Actually, no, you could probably entertain some sells, but you probably want to do it on like the 30 or the 15 minute and wait for price to come back into this kind of resistance here at 1.25500. Get a nice entry around here with a stop above. That way you can actually get your stop loss to break even and take some money off the table with a brief swing to the downside, and there you can just see what happens with the trade, to be honest. But I wouldn't entertain a trade anywhere in this area. It's just it's too choppy. It doesn't make enough sense. Not enough confluence there. The way it's moving, you're not going to get a good entry or anything. And it's probably not worthwhile your time. So yeah, at that resistance you can look for sells, and probably at this support you can actually look for buys as well, because this support is held firmly and we're still putting those higher lows. So back to this area, I would expect another rally to the upside. But all in all, as you can see from the analysis, price is moving sideways for Pound Seed Chef. We're holding on to that resistance for dear life. Once that resistance breaks, then we can start to really rally, maybe back to some of these areas up here. But as of right now, yeah, it's just sideways. Maybe you can argue a head and shoulders forming, but I think that's a bit too I think you're reaching a little bit too much for that. So yeah, it's ranging. Simply look for the sell at the highs, buy at the lows. Personally, I feel like Pound Seed Chef will break through this resistance here. So like I said, if you do get into sell, just look for a swing to capitalize on the range, rather than trying to look for the breakout or anything. If you're looking for the breakout, just wait for price to break through this support, and then you can catch a very clean trade on the retest. Other than that, yeah, buys at the lows, sells at the highs, and just look to play the range. But it certainly is a pair, in my opinion, that isn't moving well. Isn't very clean right now. So yeah, I hope that analysis helps. But yeah, it's just moving sideways, and it does look like it's trying to break through that resistance. So if it does move to the low of the range, the buys could be good. And at the same time, if you hold that resistance again, you could probably look to take advantage of those sells. But it's just a range you compare right now. We'll see which way it breaks, and then that will give us the direction for the next couple of days or so. Pound JPY, another pair that isn't moving quite well, kind of a little bit in a range here on the hourly. As you can see, price is holding support and holding resistance here. So far I'm still quite bullish on the JPY pairs. They're moving a little bit choppy, so I'm definitely not as bullish as I was coming into the week. I'm a little bit more coming onto the fence, but I'm still leaning to the buys. So if we can break outside this consolidation, then I'm looking at price coming into this resistance here on the left, and then that resistance there, 158. So basically same as pound CHF, wait for the breakout, the retest, which give you the cleanest entry, the best possible entry to take advantage of, or you can look to play inside the range, buys at the lows of the support or sells at the highs of the resistance on the range, and take advantage of the pair that is fluctuating. But yeah, I probably wouldn't entertain that too much just because how it's moving. Yeah. So yeah, I'd wait for price to make its move first. Again, potentially it could be forming lower highs here to roll over. So I'm not gonna ignore the fact that we could sell off, especially with things coming out between Russia and Ukraine as well. So I wouldn't ignore that completely, but I'm still bullish on this pair. So yeah, the best chance I would say is wait for the break and the retest of this resistance at 156.900. And then, yeah, those are your targets up there, I'd say. And same with the downside, but if it breaks for the support, you're looking at this area here, very, very critical level, 155.500, where if we do break, we're looking at GJ coming all the way back down to these lows here. So that could open the door to some really nice sells, but I'm not seeing too much from it right now. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, but it's just messy in here. So all in all, I'll ignore price action until I see momentum come back in and a break, and then that will tell me where it's going. But as of right now, I'm still favoring longs. We just had the hourly candle closer. We had the hourly candle closure. And yeah, that is not a candle closure that I want to be seeing, so I will not be looking to enter. Momentum you can still see is with the bears here on CAD, JPY. Looking at the 30-minute time frame, the bears are still in control of this one. So I've seen some nice wicks, which is a good tick on the box, but I want to see momentum. If you combine wicks and momentum, very, very powerful entry signals. You won't always get the tightest stop loss or the best entries, but you will get very, very probable entries as the market, most of the time, 80%, maybe even 90% will actually go in your direction. Might not go hit your target, but it will go in your direction quite well. So the fact that we've got some aggressive wicks is a good sign, but now I want to see the momentum come through. So far, we're not seeing momentum at all, and the bears for me are still displaying that. So I'm gonna wait for the next candle to see what we get in an hour's time. If we break through the support, then I'm going to press pause in the buys and see what happens next. Maybe wait to the end of the day, see how the daily candle closes as well. Because right now, if I go on the daily candle, you can see the way price is moving. We're still kind of obeying all of these wicks here, moving in that trend line. So if we were to get maybe a strong daily candle close beneath this trend line, that's indicating that momentum is starting to change, and we could be looking at spilling over. So if we break through the support, through the trend line, I'll see what happens. I'll wait for the end of the day, and then tomorrow, I'll come fresh, see what's going to happen with those JPY pairs. But so far, I'm not going to jump into any longs just yet. Euro, same thing, a little bit better close, but look at that. Look at the size of that candle compared to that bearish candle there. It doesn't make much difference. So I want price to kick on probably one more time. I know the stop loss will be bigger, but I'm more happy. I'm happier to take a bigger stop loss with a bear entry than a poor entry and a smaller stop loss. I'm trying to win as much trade as possible rather than just trying to get tight stop losses, because it doesn't make much sense if you're just getting tight stop losses, but if you keep losing the trade, it doesn't make much sense. So yeah, I'm going to wait for another candle for that one. Again, my target is back at 133. So in terms of risk to reward, we're still looking at about 200 pips potentially for maybe a 60 pip stop loss. So it's still over 1 to 3. But yeah, still looking at upside for Euro. Not the best close. Going to see how we get in the next candle. Same for CAD. I might not both. I'll just choose one if I get a signal for both of them. But yeah, not looking the best for that JPY pair there. GJ, same thing as well, kind of just sideways. How that NZD pair is doing. NZD USD still flying, still looking good. Again, it's pretty much hit my target for the week, which was this swing high here. If we can break through this, which lines up with that support there, time resistance, then we could see a lot more upside for NZD USD. Because then we're back above this level, so let's see if we can get that break. As JPY, I'm still looking at price coming into this area here, so this one's got a little bit more way to go. We are coming into some resistance supply around here, which could maybe send us over, so we'll see how price reacts with that, because again, this behavior is very, very corrective. We could be seeing something like that happen. So again, buys not looking too good. You probably want price to roll over, respect some support first, and then buy back in. Because like I said, we could roll over. NCC still looking good. Again, targets back at that wick, almost there as well. Still a little bit left to go. And Usd Cad actually flying. Usd Cad is flying. Yesterday I was saying maybe we can come back into this support. We only came back to respect that support there for a third time. And yeah, price is flying, and targets for Usd Cad were this wick here on the left for the week, which price is not too far away from. So Usd Cad still looking good, almost there at that level. Aud Cad, I think, did the same thing. Actually broke above that daily level support resistance, which is of fair significance. This area here, as you can see, very, very strong level, breaking above that area. So if we can maintain that, again, Usd Cad could be looking at a lot more upside. So maybe a reversal, but at least a lot more upside. Maybe back into some areas up there we could be looking at. AUDJPY, sure thing. So yeah, Aud Cad looking bullish. AUDJPY looking not as bullish, but we're still making those higher highs, which is the main thing we're focusing on. Higher lows, sorry, main thing we're focusing on. You know, whether price is making highs or lows indicates, you know, who's in control of the market. And you can see price is still maintaining that, but it is trading at this area right here. So we'll see what price does at this area. You can see our first contact there on the hourly was a very, very strong bearish candle. Obviously that was some news, but it is indicating that this level is holding so far. So like I said, I'm still bullish on the AUD pairs, I'm still bullish on the NZD pairs, so I'm only looking for buys for these ones. But again, that price action is not looking great for buying opportunities. We do have a nice support here, which price seems to be respecting quite nicely. Aggressive sell-off, recovered that. Another aggressive sell-off, recovered that. So this level at 82,400, if price was to come back down to here again and hold it, could be some nice buys back into that resistance. And if you can break through that resistance, we'll be looking at this high here at 84. So I'm still looking at 84 getting hit for AUDJPY. Again, bullish bias. If we were to take out this level, then at that point we might be selling off. So we'll look at price giving us another lower high to get involved with some sells back into this area, and then maybe some areas down here. But still bullish on this one, and I'm looking at 84 up there. But again, all this analysis can change quite quickly, so you know, everyone do be aware of that. Because we're trading at times of uncertainty. If something happens, you know, I'll be very quick to change my bias. And right now I'm saying bullish for AUDJPY. You know, maybe tomorrow I'm saying bearish because something's happened. So do keep that in mind. But I'm favouring more upside. No problem. Only trade. Happy to help, man. Or woman. Indices, we've seen some downside for them, which was expected. Hey Dylan, how are you doing? But yeah, we've seen some downside for the indices, which was expected. Yesterday I was saying, because we're holding this level US 30, I'm expecting US 30 to roll over, which we did, but we came up to we came to retest it again quite aggressively. So we did roll over, came up again quite aggressively, rolling over again. So yeah, I'm looking at US 30 coming back down to these lows. US 100 is still respecting that area. So again, I'm looking at price coming back down to here as long as we can hold that resistance. And GR30, same thing as well, as long as we can hold that. I'm looking at price coming down maybe into 15 again, into that area. So still looking at these indices spilling over. Hey, what's up, King C? How are you doing? I am doing well. Hope you're doing good. Still currently in my Euro USD position, which is kind of just going sideways a little bit. So yeah, kind of just sitting on this one on my hands. Going to see what price gives us for the rest of the week. I mean, in terms of my bias and everything, it's still looking all right, but we've got this resistance here at 1.13700, which is what's causing some friction for my trade from a technical point of view. So I need to see price break through this level, and I can be looking at price coming into that area up there. So yeah, from that, price is a little bit sideways for me. Probably just draw a box around price right now, to be honest, but I'm still back in price to go to the upside. So we're going to see how that one plays out. But yeah, not moving the best. DXY is still favouring now to break lower, but it's got that support, it needs to give way. So we'll see if we can break through that. Hey Mohammed, Bitcoin, yeah, sure thing, no problemo. So yeah, Bitcoin, I was looking at Bitcoin earlier. Bitcoin has been moving interesting over the past few days. At the start of the week, I was favouring buys from this support and a move up, and we did see that play happen quite nicely. Then I said if we can hold this resistance, I'm looking for price to spill over. Right now, it's kind of correctively doing that. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to roll over. For me, I said if Bitcoin potentially could go bullish if we break through this level strongly, 44k. Break through this, then maybe Bitcoin could actually be heading up to 50. But the fact that we're rejecting this again now is telling me Bitcoin's coming right back down into this support here. And then if you can break through that support, then we're looking at price back into these lows, back into those lows there as well. So yeah, Bitcoin for me looking bearish. We have to take these levels out. We still could do, of course, the daily candle hasn't closed yet, but as of right now, it's looking bearish. So yeah, I'm expecting Bitcoin to roll over here. I'm looking at the 4H and it's not looking too good. So yeah, back into 41,500. Then we'll see what happens at 41,500, because again, we could find support and rally up again. But if we can break through 41, then yeah, I'm looking at areas down here. We do have this very impulsive push where price will look to go retrace that move back down into some of these areas, into 37, 38, and then we'll see what happens from there on. But yeah, bearish into that support, and if it breaks, looking a lot lower. No problem, Mohammed, happy to help. Yeah, not looking too good for bitters. Euro pound still holding to that support for dear life. If we can hold on to that, I'm still looking for longs for Euro pound, but it's not just moving the best. So I'll see if maybe Euro pound goes to that next level just but underneath it at 0.3200, which was the original area that I was looking to get long on, because obviously that's the area where price had its fake out, grabbed a lot of liquidity and then rallied. So sometimes we do see where price, does have its kind of big break. Sometimes it does come back to retest that area before actually moving to the upside. So Again, it potentially could do that from here, but I was looking for price to come right back into that support and then rally. So those are still my two areas where I'm focusing on for euro pound. Right now, at that first area, it's not moving too well. Still kind of just, correctly moving down. So if we can hold this, then I will be looking to get long and take some buys back into this level, back into there. Then if you can take that out, we'll be looking at areas up here. So yeah, there's a lot of upside for euro pound if it holds. 100 pips to the upside, which is a lot for euro pound. Euro pound is not known for its pips, so 100 pips on euro pound is very, very good. So yeah, looking at buys, or if we come into there again, looking at buys as well. I'm long on Euro USD at 1.12846. Oh, okay, joining the Euro USD long gang. Love to see that. 1.12846. Okay, so you're in around. Geez, man's right at that wick there. Nice. So you're well protected. Then you probably got your stop loss to break even as well. Is your target the same area as me, or are you looking for price to go further or back into that resistance? Yeah, where's your TP? Would I sell Aud Cad? I'll take a look at Aud Cad in a second, Andre. Gory rallied like crazy today morning. Might have to start waking up early. Yeah, you do see London, it does sometimes pack a punch. I try to wake up at the start of London, and then I try and finish my trading towards not the end of New York, because end of New York technically is around like 7 or 8. I tried to finish it around like 5 p.m. From there onwards, I find like trades not really clean or there to come by. So yeah, from around 7 a.m, 8 a.m. is where London normally gets its kick, and then I try to finish around 5 p.m. UK time, GMT. OTP 1.145. Okay, so basically back at that resistance there as well. Yeah, I'm looking at price getting to there, but I'm trying to see price can also come back and retest this resistance, that support there as resistance as well for a higher high. So, I'll play it as it goes along. So if price is rejecting this, then obviously I'll look to exit my trade, but I feel like we can put that higher high in as well. A subscriber, welcome to the channel. Love to see that. But yeah, Aud Cad, would I sell Aud Cad? I don't think so. I would not sell Aud Cad. Aud Cad right now looks like it's climbing back above this support on the daily chart. Very, very key support, which held us twice before we broke through and had a nice retest, sold off. Briefly got a retest, sold off, and now we're climbing back above. So for me, Aud Cad looks like it's putting in, I wouldn't say reversal, but it looks like it's in one of these, retracing kind of phases, which could turn into reversal. And it's seeing some upside right now. So the fact that we're getting above this, I know this daily candle hasn't closed yet, but the way it's moving, certainly getting back above that. I'm looking at Aud Cad coming back into 0.92 area, which is this area before we absolutely tanked. So no, I wouldn't sell Aud Cad. I'll sell Aud Cad if it was to get back below, maybe break out of this structure, and then we can see some downside back into some of these areas. Get an entry maybe on the retest there, look at that support, maybe that support there. But right now I'm just getting bullish price action on the daily and the 4 hour. So yeah, for me the bigger move is still up. If we were to rally on, come back for another high low, that the buyers would be looking even better than any sells really. Maybe on the lower time frames there could be a sell here, briefly to some downside, but if that does happen, to me you're just taking advantage of the retracement. The bigger move is still with the buyers, according to my analysis. So yeah, maybe some sells here, the 30-15 minute chart, but yeah, you'd probably just be taking advantage of retracement, and then if you can come back and get a retest of the 0.911 area, then you could be in for some nice longs to the upside. at 0.92. So yeah, personally, not really my type of trade. Maybe more intraday trades or scalp even, but I feel like the bigger move is still higher up. AUD USD, we'll take a look at that for you, Mark. Can you check your AUD? Sure thing, Bashra. We'll take a look. AUD, so yeah, AUD still bullish on this one. We did see a nice reaction from this level this week at 0.71. Nice psychological level there, and also lined up with some support and resistance on the daily. So yeah, Euro AUD looking good. We had that head and shoulder formation over here, the left shoulder there, the head, the right shoulder. Then we snapped through that neckline area, got a nice retest, and prices rallied on from that. And I said AUD target is this area here, which looks like price is heading to right now at 0.72600. And then, you know, obviously that high would be next if you were to break through, but it's looking bullish for me. AU still bullish on this one coming into the week, and nothing's changed. So yeah, more upside for this one. Again, not the biggest fan of the way it's moved. I wouldn't look for buys right now. It's coming to some resistance. Maybe you have to roll over one more time and come back and retest this support where we've had 1, 2, potentially a third test of it. That could be a nice place for some long opportunities, and then back to highs at 0.72600. So yeah, if you're looking at getting long, I'd wait for price to roll over. It might not, but if it does, great. If it doesn't, probably a missed trade. But yeah, still bullish on AU and looking at 0.72600. No problem, Mark, happy to help, man. Euro AUD, we'll take a look at that one for you. Barca versus Napoli today. Let's go Barca. It'd be interesting to see actually, see where Barca, Barca's levels are at, because they made some interesting signings. So I want to see how they, you know, how they play against Napoli, which is not a bad team to be honest. But yeah, Euro AUD looking bearish, so we're favouring sales for this one. Again, not the cleanest price action. So I was saying yesterday, I believe, that I'm looking for this one to spill over, but I'll probably wait for it to spill over first, then see if I can catch some retracement after. Because if it does spill over, which it's doing right now, I'm looking at price coming back into here, which is still a long way to go for me. So yeah, we broke through this support here on the left. We broke through this support at 1.59300, very, very key support. These two massive spikes are kind of like false breaks of that area because we failed to hold it as support to continue. And now we got back below a few wicks and we're rolling over, and we've broken through this trend line here as well. So yeah, Euro AUD for me, I'm looking at price moving down into this area now. My target yesterday was this area, which looks like price might actually break through. So yeah, I think we could be forming a bit of a downtrend now for Euro AUD. So yeah, all the way back down to 1.56, maybe do something like this. When we pull back up, look for your entries. We do have that support there. Price might want to go retest, or we might pull back a little bit higher. But as long as we stay below 1.59200, which is that level on the daily, as long as we stay below that level here, we are looking for price to hit this support. So for the next kind of week or so, I think you're just looking for those sells, and every time we pull back, just looking to take advantage of that really. We've still got about 200 pips from where price is currently. So yeah, UAD I'm bearish on, looking for that one to roll over into 156 probably for the next few days or so, depending how fast it takes for us to get there. No problem, Basha, happy to help. Hey, Holy One of Israel, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, my eyes are still on CAD JPY and Euro JPY. I think CAD's seen some weakness, to be honest, because oil's not moving too well. There's still room for oil to see some upside, but you can see it's just made some new highs at 95, and it's struggling to kick on from that. So oil's taking a little bit of a breather right now, so maybe that's why CAD's seeing some weakness. And pretty much every other USD pair has seen some good movement, apart from Euro USD and USD Cad. Actually, Euro USD maybe has actually seen some good movement, to be honest. Maybe just because I'm looking at it from a file point of view. But yeah, too fast, hasn't really done much. But Euro USD hasn't moved too much, and USD Cad hasn't moved too much either. If you look at pretty much every other USD pair, USD we've seen some nice moves. USD is starting to break out. USD, nice rally. Pound USD, nice rally. Aud USD, really nice rally there as well. So every other USD pair has made a move apart from Euro and USD Cad. So I'm looking at those pairs catching up with the rest of the pack. Obviously, I'm already in Euro. USD Cad is a little bit tricky because of the way it's trading right now. Very, very messy. I've highlighted that kind of minor level of support resistance running through the range, but probably not the best place to look to sell the pair. I said if it was to move back into the highs again, naturally that would be a nice place to sell if we were to reject it. But we do need to see a push to the upside for that, or we can be looking at the break and retest of that level, which is probably the better setup to be waiting for. But I'm still looking at these pairs rolling over. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, but I think CAD JPY and Euro JPY are the most likely pairs I'll be looking to get some entries on. So far, nothing too much from both of them. CAD is struggling, but we'll give it to the end of that candle closure. Still about 32 minutes or so. So we'll see how it holds up for. Potentially could still get a strong close. And yeah, look to buy that back up, but yeah, going to be a bit patient just in case, because it's not moving too well. Pound AUD, we did see price spill over this one. Again, targets at 1.88, which is pretty much this area of support. We're not there yet, but fly just came into my chin there. But I still look at price rolling over into 1.88. So yeah, still looking bearish for this one. Again, you can see that the push there from the news, but this resistance still remains intact. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So yeah, pound AUD still looking like it's going to roll over. Very sluggish week for me. Yeah, it hasn't been the best week in the world as well. I mean, the price action hasn't been too bad. The major pairs like Aud USD has seen some nice move. So there's been some good moves to capture, especially if you're trading on like the lower time frames. But it has been a little bit choppy, to be honest. So it hasn't been the cleanest moving week. Last week was a lot cleaner for a lot of the pairs, to be honest. I think this type of week is where if you're trading on the lower time frames, like maybe 15 or even lower, you probably would have had some good trades on if you're just looking to capture a nice move, because we've seen that quite a lot. But in terms of free flow markets, haven't really seen too much of that this week. Pound USD has made a move to the upside, but you can see how it's done it very correctively. In fact, Pound USD for the past 2-3 weeks now hasn't really done much, to be honest. So yeah, it hasn't been the best week, but obviously not always going to get good weeks. I mean, pound before this was moving very, very nicely. You can see here on the left a really nice trend to the downside, nice trend to the upside. So we've seen pound give us some good moves. Now we're coming to a phase of consolidation, but at the same time, once price is out of that phase of consolidation, we should see a fairly good moving trend again, because all price is doing is just building up and getting ready for that breakout. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. I mean, gold was probably the pair to trade this week. Really nice rally to the upside. I was looking for gold to come down one more move, but that level actually held instead. So maybe a lesson to learn there for gold, but still looking bullish, and still does have some juice left in it. So if it does retrace back down, we'll be looking to get into some longs for that one. You enter the trade Monday, it starts moving by Wednesday, then Friday you're a little profit. Then it's time for the market to close. Annoying. Yeah, that's the beauty of swing trading. Sometimes it can do stuff like that, especially when it's just moving sideways. Yeah, because swing trading does have its ups and downs. Of course, every style of trading has its ups and downs. Swing trading is the length of time. Sometimes you have to wait for trades to play out. Sometimes you're going to enter a trade, it does nothing for the first couple of days, and maybe it just takes one day to do 170 pips and happy days, but you just don't know when that one day is, obviously. And sometimes you get trades where you enter, it does nothing for a couple of days, and then it goes and stops you out. Similar to my USD Chef short trade, which I was in here for a couple of days, I think it was, until it went against me, and then it did nothing for 2 or 3 more days, and now it's starting to roll over. So yeah, the swing trading is not all nice swings. It is great when it happens, but not all the time, which is an important thing why start to look to enter multiple positions in a trade, especially for swing trading, to take advantage of when price moves for you and then it retraces, look to add another position on, just so you can take advantage of the move fully. And if you win more trades than you lose, then something that you should look into, because statistically it will benefit you in the long run. Yeah, indices definitely have they do pack a punch. I mean, because they're very quite impulsive. They also have the periods where they do mess around, but they're quite impulsive. You can see the way it's moving. If you're buying at the lows, selling at the highs, you can catch some really nice, impulsive moves. And indices are appealing in that way, and they do move a little different to Forex, but the same technical rules still apply, really. But yeah, you can see rapid moves back up and down. Do have the periods when they do mess around a little bit, but they do flow quite nicely. I did say indices are something that I do actually want to start getting into a lot more. I mean, I do analyze it, but I don't trade it. Same with Bitcoin as well. But yeah, it might actually be something that I actually start to get into trading. So I need to get some confidence up with actually trading it and get some experience trading it. But it's something that I do want to add to my arsenal. Pound CAD looking very strong, so it must be CAD's quite weak then. Euro CAD trying to go up. Euro CAD could actually be presenting some nice buys. If we're actually going to look to reverse, some nice buys could be coming up back to these highs up here, maybe even further as well. So yeah, potentially this could be one to add to the watch list. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the way it's moving, but buys look like it could be coming up. I might wait for price to give me a push first rather than try and call the bottom of this, just because I know where my target is. It's all out there, and if price does push and then I catch a little buy from here or something, that's still great, because I don't really need to get involved at the bottom and take on more risk. So yeah, EuroCAD looks like it could go and follow Pound CAD, because Pound CAD looks like it's about to break through that resistance, or at least have an attempt to break through. And normally Pound CAD, EuroCAD do the exact same thing, obviously slightly different. So Pound CAD's going to look for that reversal, 80-90% chance Euro Cad will look for that reversal as well. So, and we've obviously had that really nice impulsive move. This looks like retracement so far, so I want to see price make that move, and then we'll look to get involved. What do you use to live stream? I have Streamlab app or software. Yeah, Streamlab software for my desktop to stream. It streams directly to YouTube. But yeah, I use Streamlab. And it pretty much has everything you need, really, to be fair. Might even get a little sponsor from them, to be honest. Little plug. But yeah, Streamlab is what I use. But yeah, nothing really catching my eye to be honest, apart from CAD and Euro, JPY. Other than that, we've seen some nice moves on a couple pairs, and I need to see if we can get some retracement for them. Pound NZD looks like that one's spilling over now, so with that said, again, I'm looking at price to come into that swing low there, and maybe even further as well. So there is some nice downside coming up for Pound NZD if we can keep that up, because this could be the first lower high there, and now we're looking at price coming back to retest this area back at 2 pretty much on the dot. So there's still a long way for Pound NZD. The fact that we're clearing this support is a good sign, so maybe if to come back up, retest that area, get some nice sells. First target being obviously this support, but then we're going to look at 2 down there. So, which is basically what I'm expecting for Pound AUD, for this one to roll over back into 1.88, break for 1.88, we can see a lot more from it. USDZAR, sure thing, we'll take a look at USDZAR. Okay, so USDZAR, we've seen some nice downside for this one. Okay, so yeah, USDZAR, I said next target for this one would be this daily support here, which we're almost there. So yeah, from this area 4 to 14.9, there could be some nice upside, because we are still very corrected, to be honest, the way price is moving. So this could be an area where price maybe wants to rally from. But yeah, we're still spilling over. At one point, we're holding onto this level here, and price is now breaking underneath it. So yeah, USDZAR, I'm looking at 14.9. Then from here, potentially there could be some nice buys from here to go long. But yeah, it looks like this one's going to slowly leak to the downside. We'll see what happens at 14.9. Breaks through 14.9. Got a next significant level here at 14.4. But I wouldn't call that just yet. We're not really having too much bearish momentum in the market right now. It's looking a little bit dry. So we'll see how it reacts with 14.9, but it looks like it probably will hold. So you can look for some longs and targets probably back up at this level here on the left, where those wicks were collecting, and then back at 15.2. So buys from here back up into that level could catch some nice pips there. But yeah, very, very corrective behavior. So yeah, a little bit more downside, 14.9, and then I think we can see some longs. Yeah, I was looking for a buy for 2 days. Yeah, gotta stay patient. Again, swing trading is definitely something where you're not going to always get set up every day. Same with day trading as well. You don't get set up every day, and sometimes you do have to wait a couple of days, sometimes more as well, for a trading setup to actually come around. But the beauty of swing trading is that you don't have to be so aggressive with the charts. You can definitely take some time away from the charts, do whatever you want. You can just manage your trades from your phone pretty much. Don't have to be so aggressive looking at what the market is doing. You can spread your knowledge around different financial markets as well. Obviously, you have to study and learn how to trade and backtest and all that stuff that require time. But in terms of the actively trading, it's much more not necessarily relaxed because you're still actively in the market, but it's not as intense as day trading. So it gives you time to do other things as well, which is obviously a massive bonus. So obviously, you can do stuff with day trading as well, but with swing trading, you can obviously manage the time a lot better. Whereas day trading, you kind of want to be at the market at a specific time to a specific time, every kind of trading day, and to make sure that you get your trading setups. Whereas swing trading, you can afford to, okay, I'll miss the morning, I'll see what happens in the evening, sort of thing. Pound USD, sure thing, Manuel. Take a look at Pound USD. Hey, good morning. I am well. How are you? We'll take a look at US 30. Do I accept charts? Yeah, kind of. I mean, I do accept charts, but for some reason, it doesn't display. Yeah, like when people do send their charts on TradingView, for some reason it doesn't pop up in the chat. I don't know if YouTube designed something so you can't click on it, but yeah, people tried to send me their charts in the past, and for some reason it just doesn't. The link doesn't show. You can try if you want, but yeah, it doesn't normally show for whatever reason. But Pound USD, then I'll take a look at US 30. So yeah, Pound, I'm bullish on Pound. We're looking for price to push into 1.37. Had a nice false break there, so definitely grabbed some liquidity. Looks like that's giving the extra juice needed for Pound to rally into this resistance here. So we'll see if we can get the break for Pound USD. I believe we can. I believe in Pound. Obviously, not really looking to do too much for Pound right now because we're trading at that kind of critical area where price may reverse or it may break. So we're going to let price do what it wants for the next couple of hours or so. And then we'll see if we can get a good close above, and then we can start looking for the retest to get involved in some longs. Because for me, I'm still looking at 1.37 for Pound USD. And yeah, I'm just expecting price to rally on. I'm still expecting weakness for the dollar. If we were to hold this, then yeah, we could see some downside. But for me, I'll just be looking for price to put a higher low somewhere, or come back down to lows and look to buy it straight back up again, because I'm still bullish on this one. So yeah, Pound, I'm looking at 1.37 target for probably for next week as well. I'm not sure if we'll hit it this week, but yeah, that's when I'm expecting price to go. So we'll see if we can get the break. I'm gonna wait for 4 hour to close above, not just hourly, mainly because I've drawn this level on the 4 hour. So I'll wait for a 4 hour close above it, which is in about 2 hours from now, and then we'll see what type of price action we can get on the low time frames, and then yeah, take advantage of some buys. And yeah, Pound, we're looking at 1.37. US 30, so yeah, US 30, I'm still bearish on this one. We were holding this level on the left, which was our prior swing low, which gave us this nice move up. Did form some highs above this area, but price melted to the downside and took up that low there. So I'm looking at price rolling over one more time back into this support, and we'll see how price reacts with that, because if we break through, we could be looking at 34 down here, which is obviously this daily support running through the market here, which is keeping the market pretty much bullish, to be honest. So yeah, US 30 for me, I'm looking at one more leg to the downside, either back to that support, maybe further. Price did sell off nice yesterday, because I remember I was drawing the channel yesterday, and price did see some downside. It came back up quite aggressively into that area, but still held. So yeah, for me, I'm still looking at US 30 back down to 34,400. We'll see what type of price action we get there, because we could put a double bottom here to go bullish, because I still do think there is room to the upside for US 30. So a double bottom could be forming here, maybe in the 4H time frame. So do keep a lookout for that, and then that could be a nice place for some longs back into those highs up here. But for now, we're looking for the rollover, see what happens there. Breakthrough, we're looking at 34. Hold, we're looking at price coming into those highs. But in terms of the immediate move, it's looking like we're going bearish. So yeah, any entries, maybe if we were to push up again and then get some entries from that move, but we might just spill over, to be honest. But yeah, US 30 rollover 34,400 and then potentially move up. Not the cleanest setup in the world, to be honest, but could see what happens with potential buys from that support. But yeah, I hope that analysis has helped. But yeah, the other USD pairs are pretty much gone, so I'm going to see how it happens with USD Cad. And Euro still in that range as well. See, hope you can get a breakout today. CAD's, JPY and CAD CHF still quite bearish. CAD is quite weak. And the AD pairs are still quite strong. So it's been an interesting day, to be fair. At the start of the day, we did see some movement during the Asian session. So yeah, it's definitely a time where it's better to be safe than sorry, rather than sorry than safe. Because obviously you got to take risk to make money in Forex, in the markets. But at a time like this, especially when price action, from my point of view anyway, is not really the cleanest through a lot of the pairs, it's better to sit in your hands before trying to force anything. Obviously, the worst that can happen is you lose a trade, which isn't really bad, to be honest. We all lose a trade. Losing a trade is not really going to affect your success as a trader, but if you're constantly losing, you know, it's definitely time to sit in your hands. Okay, was it FOMC? Makes sense. Hey, no problem. Hey, thanks M, love that. I might just get a t-shirt and just put massive M on it. Sell some merch. But yeah, looking to get long CAD, but I haven't got an entry on that one, and this comes about close in about 12 minutes or so. So unless we pull back up and see some momentum, we'll leave CAD JPY alone. We might be coming up for another wick. We might be coming down, for another wick into that zone, and then maybe we can get an entry. But yeah, it's not looking too good. The bears are still giving me that momentum, so I'm gonna wait for the shift. And if I do get anything, I'll stick up my Telegram. Same for Euro JPY. Still looking bearish. Not enough momentum there for the bulls. So I'm not going to try and force this. Potentially, like I said, the price is putting a lower high in the market, which is not what I want to see as a bull. So therefore, I'm not going to be trying to force anything. If I can get a nice shift, price maybe wicks back in, nice big shift, nice bullish candle, then yeah, I'll look to enter. But anything else, I'll leave it alone. And I might just look to close some profit on Euro as well, even though it's not much. Excuse me, even though it's not much, but the way it's moving is not very good. And if it does spill over, obviously a bit of profit is better than nothing. So I might look to close a bit of profit there and then just write my entry price. If it breaks to the upside, happy days, cool. But if it does spill over, then you know, I made a nice little decision there. But definitely not moving well. DXY is coming into this support, which for me needs to break for price to rally, and not rally, for price to melt into my target. Really, it needs to break through that area, and it's losing a little bit of its momentum right now. So we do have some news for the dollar coming out at 130. We'll see how that impacts the market. But again, you can see over the past few hours now, few hours or so, we haven't really done much for the dollar as well. So seen a pretty nice bearish trend form in the hourly, but are starting to lose that momentum. So you could be looking at some recovery back up again before maybe we roll over. We'll see what we can get. But yeah, about 10 minutes or so before I do end the stream. So any last minute charts or any last minute pairs, you want me to look at, feel free to leave it in the chat or take a look at it for you. But yeah, if I do get anything, check out my Telegram. I'll post it there. Yeah, but did miss those goals. Excuse me. Voice is playing up a little bit. But yeah, did miss those gold buys, which a bit annoying. But we'll take that on the chin. USD still looking bearish, so yeah, if we can break through this for USD, we'll be looking at 114.300 there. It looks like price is putting that lower high to roll over. USD Chef still looking at pushing to here. Looks like price has finally managed to break out that consolidation. So looking at price into there and into there, so a bit of a pullback would interest me for some sales for this one, and move into that support. But yeah, definitely bearish from USD Chef. I mean, overall, it's ranging, of course, but it's looking like we could see another swing back down first before maybe anything else. GJ still in that range. We'll see how price reacts with that, of course. Looking where we are in the market, price is still at this weekly area, so anything can really happen. If we do this suddenly, then we'll look at getting some sales and take advantage of that. But yeah, just gonna stay on my toes for now. Pound CHF holding that resistance there as well. Maybe we might see a completion of that bearish range. Not really looking to trade it, to be honest. And Power Cad's still quite strong. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on CAD and Euro, see how those pairs can get on, but not too sure if I'll find a trade, to be honest, because I'm looking at the 4H and it doesn't look good at all for longs. The way we've melted to the downside here, and the fact that we've tried to come up but failed, and we're seeing momentum back to the downside in line with this bearish move, is telling me that potentially Euro JPY might want to come back into this sort of area before maybe seeing some upside, which is cool because I'll still look for buys from around here, which is obviously a better entry, better value to buy at. But it might mean that we roll over first. So if anything, shorts might be looking better than buys, just looking at the structure right now. So I'm not going to entertain any buys unless I see a good shift of momentum. I'm looking at what the 4H is presenting me, and it's looking like we could see price roll over. Same with CAD. If that momentum keeps up, we could roll over, and if you get a breakout for pound to the downside, then yeah, we could roll over. HG, how are you doing? Look at your AD and the CAD, of course. And news coming up. Yeah, we do have some news coming up for the dollar, 130 GMT as always. So yeah, in about in an hour and a half, we do have some jobless claims coming out for US dollar, and we do have some building permits, housing starts. So there's a few news events for the dollar coming out 130. A few of them are labeled high impact, so yeah, maybe seeing something in the markets from that. Personally, I'm not too phased from it, so I'm still going to remain in my USD position. I'll lock in some profit, but we'll see how that one gets going. But yeah, we do have some dollar news coming out, so do watch out for that. Anyone trading any dollar pairs. But yeah, Euro AUD, this one's still bearish, so yeah, for this one I'm looking for price to melt to the downside here. It's looking like we tried to break through this major level of support resistance here at 1.59300. Had 2 attempts to break through. Each one we never got the retest to continue. We all came right back down, and now we're trading back below this trend line here. And I'm looking at the weekly as well, and it's not looking too good for Euro AUD, but holding on to this resistance here. So I'm looking at price coming right back down into this support, back on the daily, which is a 1.56, where you can see price has tested a couple times. So yeah, I'm looking at price coming down basically, and a bearish trend starting to form. We are currently trading at this level of support, so we might see some upside from that, but I think we just see a bearish trend start to form now. So when we do pull back, looking to short that right back down again, and yeah, just all the way back to 156, unless we go back above that daily level. So unless we climb back above this level, then we'll look at price filling the gap to the upside into that level here, if we climb back above, and climb back above the trend line as well. But as of right now, the bears are definitely winning the battle. So yeah, I'm seeing a bearish trend form back down to 156, and yeah, just any pullbacks I think would just be a nice excuse to sell it back down again, for Euro AUD. So still looking at more downside for Euro AUD. USD Cad looking bullish. We're putting a higher low in. I said maybe if we come back into the support, but we kind of just formed the support just slightly above it, and price reacted to quite strongly, and it's looking very bullish. So USD Cad, instead of my weekly analysis, I'm looking for price to come into this level here, which is 0.85600. So that's the area I'm looking for price to come into. We've also got this level here as well, which we could move into as well at 0.86200. So for me, it's only upside here for USD Cad. We're putting a higher low, another higher low in the daily. We're seeing bullish momentum coming back in. Yeah, everything's looking bullish so far. So first target, second target. Obviously, if we do react strongly with this, we could spill over again. The reason is because we do have to take into account the larger trend in the market, which is obviously, low, high, low, high, low. So potentially you could even put another low, high, and then roll over. So as for now, I'm looking for USD Cad a little bit more upside into that first target, but we'll see what price action we get from there, because potentially could spill over. If I do draw a fib of that impulsive move, we're coming into the 0.5, 50% of that move, and then up there would be the 0.618. So we're coming to areas where we could see higher time frame, sellers starting to step in and start to drive this trend to the downside again. But for now, more upside for USD Cad into that level. We'll see what type of price action we get. Breakthrough, we're looking at 86200, sorry. But yeah, either one of these levels could present some nice sells back down. But for now, just a little bit more upside. So yeah, I hope that analysis helped. But yeah, currently in Euro, like I said, we're locking some profit there just because it's not moving well at all. And then yeah, I'll keep an eye on the JPY pairs, see if I can get a shift of momentum in them. I'll let you know if I can get anything, but so far not looking too good for them, but we'll keep a close eye. Euro pound, I'm looking at getting long again for this one, still trading that monthly area of support. So if we can hold that, still looking at that move up, but we're just not getting the price action we want on the 4H for the hourly just yet. So I'll be keeping an eye on Euro pound. The upside target is all the way up there, so risk to reward is looking very, very healthy if I can get anything. Euro Cad similar as well, looking for price to swing back up to highs, and again looking good. Risk to reward if you can get anything. So I'll keep an eye on these pairs. They weren't at the top of my watch list, but they're slowly moving up, mainly because the JPY pairs are slowly moving down in price and in my watch list. So Euro pound could be looking good for some buys if I do see some good price action. I'll let you guys know. Same for Euro Cad as well. Euro CHF, not really a fan of, so won't spend too much time there. but I'll see what type of price action we can get. And obviously pound USD, I'll keep an eye on this one because we could be warming up for a breakout and looking at 1.37 as well. So I'll keep an eye on that one, and Usd Cad I'll keep an eye as well because still got targets down there, but we do need to break out of that mess. So yeah, we'll keep an eye. Nothing clean. Yeah, you too, Chi. Have a nice weekend as well. Everyone, to be fair, have a nice weekend. Get some rest in, refresh for the week ahead. But yeah, nothing prominent right now. So I'll let you guys know if I get anything on those pairs I just mentioned on my Telegram. So feel free to go check that out. But yeah, guys, it has come to the end of the stream. Hope you have all enjoyed it, found it useful. If you have, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff will be appreciated. Again, I will be doing an analysis on the weekend, recapping what happened this week and forecasting the next. So I hope you guys can check that out. But yeah, I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for watching the stream. I'm very grateful for all of you, and I'll catch you all in my streams next week.